Hey guys, welcome back to Traderscale Success Stories. Today we're joined by Fred Roby, who's recently been one of our highest paid traders. So welcome Fred, how are you doing today, mate?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Are you doing good?
Yeah, it's okay, get in there, you know. So look, just so the audience to know, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and how old are you and stuff like that.
So I'm from Cornwall, United Kingdom, and
Nice
I'm 21
place.
years old. I've been trading for a couple of years, but first year I wasn't really taking it too seriously, just
Yeah.
a lot of signal groups and stuff, losing a lot of money, but start of last year decided to actually lock it and then get mentored. And
Nice. Oh, nice, mate. So how old did you say you were?
21.
You're 21. Oh, yeah, I was going to say you look quite young there as well. So you're into the game early. I mean, I think I was like 29 when I started. So you're already leap years ahead of me, you know. When did you start trading? Was it last year, 2 years ago? And what got you into it initially?
So it would have been the end of 2023 / the start of 2024, and my mate just said, oh, look, there's this signal group and it makes this amount of money. And then sort of went from those sort of groups for about 6 months, lost a lot of money, didn't really understand the basics in trading in terms of just psychology, risk management. I was just aimlessly chucking on, you could say.
Yeah.
So learned the hard way, like you have to, and then I ended up taking a break for about 6 months. But start of 2025 is when I started taking it seriously.
Nice. And so you've been trading probably like 2-3 years, but the first year not, just messing about, really just trying your luck sort of thing. I think, as well, that's quite common. Everyone comes on, you're like, yeah, I went to a signal group. I think everyone does that. They're like, okay, well, I'll give it a try. None of them are great, though. I mean, I've probably come across one that's decent in my whole life. They're all crap, and they really, It's better if you do it yourself.
Sustainable practice.
Yeah, exactly. So, what changed then? What sort of strategy did you put in to do the work? Did you find something on YouTube? Did you get a mentor?
Yeah, so I did end up getting a mentor, and that was sort of like ICT concepts, a more discretionary approach to trading.
Yeah.
But I only traded that for a few months until I decided that it wasn't really for me, and that's where I discovered mechanical trading, which is the style of trading I'm doing now.
Yeah, see guys, this is another one. Fred's just come on here now. He said he was doing ICT before. Yes, that might work for some of you. I'm not saying that ICT doesn't work. It didn't work for me personally, and Fred has just come on here now and said that he's mechanical trading. How many profitable traders have been on this show and said they are mechanical trading? I would say almost 60, maybe a bit more % of them. So there's some gold right here from Fred. Again, just taking the emotion out of it. You have your rules, you follow them, right?
Yeah, it's very sort of strict guidelines, and it's kind of prevents you from crashing out, really.
Yeah, and also it's not subjective. So you take in like, okay, well, I've seen that go like this before, move fast, and it's like, yeah, but if you do things like that and you watch the price action, sometimes that can be hard for a certain type of personality because, how long's a piece of string? Like, you don't know. You might have thought that subconsciously and seen it before, but it might be completely different, So taking the mind out of it, I think, because the mindset is pretty hard to master, right? Unless you're like a robot.
It does take years to that discretionary edge.
I honestly think the mindset is the hardest bit, right? And a lot of people who are very successful come on here and say the mindset's the hardest. But when you can eliminate that, you can get successful quite quickly. So from what I've seen, from the data we've got, from people like yourself coming on here and talking about it. Let's talk about how much have you been paid out with Traderscale in total?
I believe about 8.6k US dollars.
Lovely. How many payouts was that? Like 1, 2, 3?
Between 2 payouts, yeah.
Ah, nice, mate. Well done. So you've only been trading with Traderscale for how long?
I want to say a few months.
Few months. Okay. How did you find us?
Very good, to be honest. Conditions, solid.
Nice.
Yeah, and payouts very quick.
Yeah.
Don't really have anything negative to say.
Yeah, thanks, man. Well, we try our best, over here. So what does a day-to-day look like for you? Are you full-time? Are you trading, or are you just doing something on the side? Or, are you part-time work? Are you studying still? What does it look like for you?
Yeah, so currently just working part-time, sort of 3-4 days a week.
Nice.
And the other days, obviously, just concentrating on trading.
Oh, nice.
Videos for social media and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
On the different side.
Oh, nice, man. Well done. That sounds good. Sounds like you got it all. I mean, as well, like, you know, when you're like that young, I don't want to say, you know, I don't want to start giving out life advice now because I'm older, right? But there's not an absolute pressure to know exactly what you want to do and get straight into a career like straight away. So you've got a little bit of time on your hands as well, where you can just put some feelers out into, you know, trading and stuff like that. So it's really good. So obviously trading isn't like most careers. Risk is obviously a part of the game. When did you first realize how important risk management was?
Probably when I blew an entire live account trade.
Yeah. Was it on a broker?
Multiple times. Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone does that, don't they? They just chuck 500 quid, whatever, a grand into a broker account and then just start, you know, putting 10% per trade on, and it just goes fast, doesn't it?
I had to make that mistake.
Yeah, I always call it the gauntlet of fire, but you don't run it at the end, you run it at the beginning in trading, you know? You get shafted at the beginning, and then at the end it's like, okay, now you see the fruits of it, you know what I'm saying? So has your approach to risk changed over time, or is it still pretty similar?
I think for a while now I've been sticking to a fixed risk system, really.
Yeah. What is that, by the way? Just wondering.
Between 0.75 or 1%, depending on the
Nice.
the specific entry model.
Yeah.
But I would risk more than 1% on a trade.
Yeah, no, that's. I think I've just did a YouTube tutorial about that now, where I'm saying, like, guys, I don't know one profitable trader that's risking over 1.5% per trade. I don't like. So you know, and everyone is funny because everyone comes on you and they say the same things. You know, they say, oh, it's just about like sticking to your rules and mechanical systems, and it's literally like a trend. All the profitable traders are just doing exactly what you do, you know? And there's no secret magic to it, really. If you find, obviously, if you've got a strategy, it would be great, because some strategies just don't work, right? For long term anyway. But yeah, like having a routine and stuff like that is super important. What do you think about trading routine? Are you like a London trader, a New York trader? What do you do?
So I will trade both London and New York sessions. I won't touch Asia, but I essentially wait for previous session liquidity to get swept before I then look for a position.
Guys, again, Fred here. How many people have come on and said one session, liquidity sweep of the Asian, and then try and catch that there? How many people have said that? Hundreds. I've interviewed hundreds of traders that sent that. So another great one and they're all saying the same thing. This is crazy. Like, you know, it's there. It's there for your pickings, right? So talk to me about, you know, your trading rituals now. Is this something you need, like a cup of coffee or a can of Coke or something, or a packet of crisps that you need to like focus? Is there anything like that?
Always one large coffee in the morning. But
Yeah.
That's what does me. And then just in general, just a clean diet, to be honest.
Yeah, you like clean diet. Yeah, I think that's quite important. Well, when you're a bit younger, maybe not as important. As you approach 30, which you will do at some point, I'm sure, it becomes very important. Just put weight on easy, eating nothing. So what do you think about journaling and tracking trades? What are your thoughts on that?
Essential, really, to be honest.
Yeah.
Backtested data. I mean, if you're not trading without backtested data, you're just trading blind, essentially. So
yeah,
anything that I trade, I like to have a solid data set behind, and then I always jump on my live trades.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I think a lot of people that are successful. I think I've only interviewed one or two that don't journal. They just got a bit of a feel for it. But most people backtesting heavy and journaling, so that's another one. Again, more stuff the same, guys. You know, everyone comes on you, says the same things. Just take it in. So you just have a cup of coffee. You just eat a bit clean. You go to the gym, exercise a little bit. Yes, good man. Okay, cool. So let's talk about discipline over emotion, and then we'll go into your final goals for trading, and we'll call it this. So have you ever revenge traded or maybe broken your rules like within the last 6 months?
Yeah, mainly probably just like trading more pairs than I've set out to
Okay.
trade on a certain account would be one thing, or
Okay.
maybe trading 2 trades in one session rather than one, where my rule is one, but
Yeah.
not so much recently, but it has happened.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. It's just practice, right? Practice makes perfect, and you'll get better at not doing that, you know. And when you see more results, and I'm sure you'll get more fixated on, you know, keeping that discipline there. So do you have any tricks that might help some of our viewers stay disciplined, or anything that you do that you think, well, if I would love to have heard that if I was, you know, 6 months in the game, for example?
I would say give yourself a little bit of diversification between accounts, maybe, or between sessions, rather than going all in on a specific variable. I think that would be my
Right.
source.
Okay, nice. And what do you say to those people who trade multiple pairs and multiple accounts? Like, how many pairs do you trade, for example?
I would trade between like 2 and 3 pairs, but I will never trade 3 on one account.
Right.
I'll have dedicated.
Nice, nice. So I guess then if one is not favourable conditions and you're like break even, one of them is usually running, right?
Yeah.
That's an interesting tactic. I like that one. I've heard that one once or twice before. Seems to be quite good. What pairs are they? What's your favourite?
So EU, GU, and oil, actually.
Oh, you like oil? Okay, first one I've had on here that trades oil. Good. I think right now as well, you know, it's quite easy to think, right, okay, well, I guess like if they've closed the straight, so it's going to go up. It opens the straight, it goes down, right? So it's pretty easy to predict, I guess. So brilliant stuff, mate. On the EU and GU, I think that they are really nice pairs to trade. They move quite fast, but not too fast, you know. They're not psychotic like gold. I hate gold. Yeah, solid spreads. Yeah, exactly. You're not going to get, you know, hit. So let's talk about some advice now for staying consistent to some of our viewers. What do you think is one technique that a beginner is like, they overlook and they're like, oh, that's not really that important, but it actually is so important?
Yeah, definitely journaling, like not necessarily like tracking all of your emotions, writing that down, but you do definitely need to track all the data that every trade that you're taking in the market, because you just don't have an idea of actually what's going on and are you actually making a gain or not.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I think journaling, a lot of people just think, oh, I'll just remember that, and then they don't, you know, so that can definitely help. What do you think is one mistake that you made early doors that cost you a lot of time or money?
I would say going all in with a big funded account, like a 200k, instead of maybe just taking it slower and starting with a small one and getting another one later down the line, to be honest.
Right.
Rather than just banking everything on that.
Yeah.
On a big account, if that makes sense.
Right, okay. Yeah, just take it slow and go for a smaller rather than a big challenge first. I definitely purchased a big challenge myself and failed it first time, thinking I can make, you know, 10k a month. It's not like, you've got to kind of train yourself, right, with these challenges. They get easier the more you do, right? So yeah, just kind of instills the discipline in you and puts the rules in your trading, which is kind of good. So what do you think is a system that you use that's helped you stay disciplined, and what keeps you motivated?
Generally, just having like a bulletproof criteria that I don't stray from.
Right.
Is something that I wouldn't overlook. If you're struggling, especially with like a discretionary system, then maybe to
nice.
create yourself a checklist criteria that you cannot stray from in any way.
Right, I got you. And what keeps you motivated when, you know, you may be having like a bit of a week or 2 weeks where it's a bit like break even, minus 1%, you know, those tricky periods?
Yeah, well, you've got to ask yourself, have you come this far to just quit? Like, there's no.
Yeah.
You have to stay in the game. Like, you can see what people can achieve.
Yeah.
When you stick at it. So.
Yeah, man. And you know, a lot of people that have been super, like they've had 50, 60, 75,000, whatever from us. There's one guy that's had 136,000 from us. They all failed like 6 or 7 challenges before they got good, you know, and then all of a sudden they're just like bang, 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 just launching out payouts. And yeah, like I think that they always say as well, like ones I've interviewed, just didn't give up. It took me like a year of failing, but then I just didn't give up, you know. So yeah, I think that's great advice. What are your goals for the next 6 months and 1 year with trading, and then the end goal, if you have any.
Just trading props for a bit, but trying to sort of build up a live account as well. And for the long-term goal would be to mainly just trade like a big live account.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, nice, man. Yeah, I think that's sensible as well. You know, on a broker with your own money, and just, you know, put a couple of 100 G's in there if you can generate that, and then just make that 1-2% every month. You know, that'd be great, wouldn't it? Yeah, I like that, and you would get a lot of freedom with that. Obviously, there's a lot of pressure and stuff and stress to get there, but you know, the end goal is to, you know, retire, I guess, in it early, and you know, make your money that way. So, mate, thanks for coming on, Fred. Well done. And I think we've got you for like a webinar at some point where you're going to share a bit of your strategy. So guys, please stay tuned for that. It will be next month. And always have the very best of traders coming on. We've had some good ones, you know, recently so far. So excited to get Fred on, and he's going to walk us through his strategy. And I guess we'll see you then, mate. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, as well. And there'll be more like this coming, as well as my educational YouTube content. So ciao for now.